Hello students, welcome to chemistry online classes. States of matter lesson is going on. In states of matter lesson, now I am going to start new topic. The topic is behavior of real gases. How real gases behave. In previous topic, we have seen kinetic molecular theory of gases. Okay, so all things you know about kinetic molecular theory of gases, problems, everything is solved. Now let us move towards the next topic, how real gases behave. We have seen all gas laws. Then all these gas laws are derived from kinetic molecular theory of gases only. So kinetic theory tells what? All the postulates of kinetic molecular theory of gases are over. Now let us see in reality, actual real gases behave how? Behavior of real gases we are going to see in this video. So before we start behavior of real gases, you must be knowing the difference between real gases and ideal gases. Okay. So before we enter the exact topic of today's, let us see the difference between real gases and ideal gases. Students, today's topic is much more regarding understanding. So listen the video twice, get the everything understood very well, and let us start the topic. So name is behavior of real gases. How real gases behave. Then it is seen that real gases behavior is different than the behavior of ideal gases. Okay. Who are ideal gases? We have seen in previous video. Ideal gases means the gases which obeys Avogadro's law, Boyle's law, Charles' law. All these laws are strictly obeyed, followed. That gases are called as ideal gases. In reality also we know students, nothing is much ideal. Like that, whatever gases are known till today, all gases are real gases. Okay, no gas is ideal gas. Ideal gases, it is just an imaginary concept because ideal gases obeys all the gas laws. Avogadro's also, Boyle's also, Charles also. Ideal gases follow all the postulates of kinetic molecular theory of gases. Okay, so all these things are not possible in reality. So whenever experiments are done, it is seen that real gases deviate, deflect from ideal gas behavior. Okay, so today's topic, behavior of real gases, that is deviation from ideal gas behavior. Real gases deviate, deflect, they show different type of behavior in comparison to ideal gases. Okay, how and where exact things, let us understand. So till now you understood that whatever gases we know till today, all known gases, for example hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, helium, and so many gases we know today, carbon monoxide, all these gases which are known till today, real gases, these are deviating from ideal gas because their behavior do not match with behavior of ideal gases. Okay, so ideal gases will think that it is just an imaginary concept, but reality is different. Okay, so let us see the difference between ideal gases and real gases first. First point I have written here is, what are ideal gases? Already it is told to you that the gases which obeys Avogadro's law, Boyle's law, Charles' law are called as, strictly they will obey, they are called as ideal gases. Oppositely, we will say for real gases that they do not obey all these gas laws. Okay, real gases obeys, but not all the gas laws at all temperatures and pressures. That's why ideal gas, what I have written, see, it obeys all gas laws at all temperature and pressures. Whatever may be the temperature, whatever may be the pressure, they will obey these gas laws, ideal gases. But in reality, it is found that real gases deviate from all gas laws. Not always. They will follow gas laws, but not at all temperatures and pressure. At certain temperatures and pressures only they will follow, or else for all temperatures, pressures, they do not obey all gas laws, they deviate from them. Okay. So we can say that ideal gas, it is only imaginary concept. Okay. And all known gases are real gases. Whatever gases we know till today, all known gases are real gases. Okay. Second, all postulates of kinetic theory, kinetic molecular theory of gases theory is there. All its postulates are true for ideal gases. Ideal gases, for ideal gases, all that, how many postulates are there? We have discussed around 7 postulates of kinetic molecular theory of gases. All that postulates are true for ideal gases. Okay. But for real gases, it is seen that, okay, I missed it. 2 postulates. Okay. 2 postulates of kinetic molecular theory are not true for real gases. Okay. For ideal gases, all postulates are true only. But in reality, it is seen that 2 postulates given by kinetic molecular theory of gases are not true for real gases. Which are those 2 postulates? That we will see after this difference. Okay. Next point. According to ideal gas. Okay. Before I go to 4th point, let me clear this point here only. 2 postulates of kinetic theory are not true. Kinetic molecular theories, 2 postulates. Which 2 postulates are there which are not obeyed or which are not true for real gases? Then while telling kinetic molecular theory postulates only, I have told you that first 2 postulates are very important from next studies. Okay, so first 2 postulates are not true for real gases. So here I will write that 2 postulates, because here also question is given. Why do gases deviate from ideal behavior? Why real gases deviation is there? Why their behavior is different than ideal gases? Because 2 assumptions of kinetic theory are not true for real gases. Real gases don't obey that 2 postulates of kinetic molecular theory. And due to the difference of that 2 postulates, real gases behave differently and ideal gases behave differently. The difference, the deviation, deflection of real gases from ideal behavior is due to these 2 postulates. Okay, so let us see which are those 2 postulates. First postulate, there is, according to kinetic theory, there is no force of attraction. There is no force of attraction between the molecules. Do you agree with this, students? Kinetic theory tells that there is no force of attraction only between the molecules. There don't exist any force of attraction, and that is not true for real gases. Real gases, it is seen that there exists a force of attraction, though that force of attraction is very weak force of attraction, but there exists a force of attraction. So this postulate is not true for real gases, and that's why real gases don't behave ideally. They show deviation from ideal behavior, which is another postulate responsible for this. Let us see. First postulate, that is actual volume occupied by gas molecules is negligible in comparison to the empty space present between them. Okay, see the things now. First postulate is also not holding true for real gases. See students, let us discuss these two postulates in detail. First postulate has told that gas molecules are so small and so far away from each other that actual volume, whatever is occupied by that gas molecules, is just negligible in comparison to empty space present between them. This also holds wrong, or this doesn't hold true for real gases. Real gases states that the volume occupied by gas molecules is not so small that it should be neglected. Okay, it's not that much also less that it should be neglected. So according to real gases behavior, the volume, actual volume occupied by gas molecule must be considered. It should not be neglected. Things are clear to you students? So let us move towards, next points are based on this. So let us move towards this. So I hope you understood the thing that ideal gases are obeying all laws. Ideal gases are also obeying all the postulates of kinetic theory. Out of that, two postulates are not true for real gases, and that's why we have written here 4 point that according to ideal gases, there is no intermolecular force of attraction. This is one of the postulates of kinetic theory. But real gases says that there is intermolecular force of attraction. Okay. Then, according to ideal gas, molecules are so small that their volume is just neglected. Okay, their volume is negligible. Very small size is there, so just their volume can be neglected. But in reality, it is seen that volume of molecules is not negligibly small. Actual volume occupied by gas molecule is not so small that it should be neglected. Okay. Next, ideal gases cannot be liquefied. Okay, if you can think, let us think now. If you can think means liquefaction, if you can imagine. Okay. This topic already covered in previous video. Liquefaction needs what? If we have to convert gas into liquid, conversion of gas into liquid, what should be done? That time I have told you that you have to remember 2 C's for liquefaction of gas, and that 2 C's are compression and cooling. So always remember students that whenever a gas has to be converted into liquid state, then gas molecules will be away, so compression is a must. Then molecules will come close to each other. Afterwards, cooling should be done. Why? Because gas molecules are moving and liquid molecules don't move. So we have to stop that movement, and that is stopped by cooling. Okay. So here it is written that ideal gases cannot be liquefied only. Then what is the reason for that? Why ideal gases cannot be liquefied? The thing is, according to ideal gas, it says that there is no intermolecular force of attraction. Yes, no attraction is there. Then how can we convert gas into liquid? Because when we convert gas into liquid, in liquids it is seen that there exists a force of attraction. In solids, force of attraction will be strongest. Then liquids, it will be it will be less than solids but greater than gases. So there exists a force of attraction in liquids. But according to ideal gases, there is no force of attraction. So it is said that ideal gases rather, cannot be liquefied. But of course real gases can be liquefied, because according to it, there exists a force of attraction. Last point we will see, ideal gas equation is PV is equal to nRT. But real gas equation, real gases follow equation of Van der Waals equation. Okay, I have written here equation. Real gas equation is little different. P plus n square by v square. Volume term becomes V minus NB is equal to nRT. So if you will compare the equation for ideal gas and the equation for real gas, RHS is same only, nRT. RHS, right hand side is same only, but corrections you can see in left hand side, how this equation get derived. Let us see in detail next topic. But before that, remember this is the equation which is called as Van der Waals equation because scientist Van der Waals has derived this equation. This is applicable for real gases. Okay. So student, you understood what are ideal gases, what are real gases. Then how we came to this deviation. Let us see. Here I have written one question. Why do gases deviate from ideal behavior? Why real gases deviate from ideal behavior? Because ideal gases follows all postulates of kinetic theory. Real gases don't follow two postulates. Which are the two postulates? That also I have written. I hope you understood this topic clearly. Why real gases deviate from ideal behavior? Because two assumptions of kinetic theory are not true. Two assumptions are not true for real gases. Which are that assumptions? There is no force of attraction and actual volume is negligible. These are the two assumptions which are not true for real gases. Okay, let us move next. Next I have written, then is there any chance that real gases behave ideally or it is never? Okay, so when real gases behave ideally, real gases behave ideally means what are the conditions? When does it happen that real gases shows ideal behavior? Okay, so start, you only think, then you can write the answer for this question very easily. Ideal gases, how to think? See, ideal gases are saying there is no force of attraction, volume is negligible, means according to ideal gases, molecules are far away from each other. Gas molecules are so much away from each other that their volume can be neglected. They are so much away from each other that there don't exist any force of attraction. Okay, so when real gases will behave ideally, when volume will be highest. Correct? When volume will be highest, that time real gases behave ideally. And now tell me, when does it happen? When volume will be more? High volume will be when? Pressure high or pressure low? When volume will be more? See now, if you will apply more pressure, volume goes on decreasing. You are applying pressure means compression takes place. Volume decreases. We want high volume. Means that happens when pressure is very low. At low pressure. At low pressure. When pressure is very low, that time volume will be high. Okay. What about temperature? If temperature will be high or temperature will be low? Temperature high or temperature low? When volume will be very high? Volume will be very high when temperature is high, because temperature when increases, molecules will gas molecules will expand and they will go away from each other. Okay, and that's why we can say that at high temperature, okay. So student, what was question? See here correctly. When real gases behave ideally. Okay. So what answer is written? All the points as it is note down. Okay. When real gases behave ideally, when the volume occupied by real gas is so large that actual volume of the gas molecules can be easily neglected, in comparison to empty space. In comparison to empty space. And when very large, what is very large? Volume is very large. And when volume will be large, I told that at low pressure and at high temperature volume will be very large. So students, these things are clear. Then now let us see in detail Van der Waals equation. Okay, how this equation came? Why p plus an square by v square? Why v minus nb? Actual derivation is deleted from your syllabus. Long back, only 5 years back. Before old syllabus we were teaching this derivation also. Now it's not there. But you have to understand little things in detail about Van der Waals equation. So let us see that. So students, let us see Van der Waals equation in detail. Real gases will follow this equation. That equation was derived by scientist Van der Waals. So name is given Van der Waals equation. Van der Waals equation, pressure in ideal gas, left hand side was PV is equal to nRT. But in real gases, this term is pressure becomes P plus N square by V square and volume becomes V minus NB. Then let us understand why these changes are there. Okay. Now to understand this, let us think in this way. In Van der Waals equation, the correction in pressure, this correction in pressure is there. Pressure was actually, it should be P, but there is one correction term added in pressure. Why there is correction in pressure? Correction in pressure is due to force of attraction present between the molecules. Students, already we have seen that in ideal gases there is no force of attraction, but in real gases there exists a force of attraction between the molecules. And due to this force of attraction, there is correction in pressure. Now let us understand how due to force of attraction, pressure correction takes place. Now imagine that, okay, I hope the things are clear to you about pressures. When pressure will be exerted by the gas molecules, students, gas molecules are randomly moving in all directions, and while moving randomly they are colliding on each other. Also they will collide on the walls of the container. While moving they will collide on the walls of the container, and when they will collide they will exert pressure. What do you mean by pressure? Force exerted per unit area is called as pressure. Now imagine that one gas molecule is colliding on the wall of the container. Only understand the topic. See here, there is one container. Imagine this is gas molecule. It is going to collide on the wall of the container. Okay. If it is ideal gas, in ideal gases there is no force of attraction, so the neighboring molecules or the adjacent molecules won't pull it. But in real gases it is seen that there exists a force of attraction. So these are adjacent molecules or neighboring molecules I have shown. Now what these neighboring molecules will do, there exists a force of attraction, so they will pull this molecule back. This molecule which is going to collide on the wall of the container, this molecule will be pulled back by the neighboring or the adjacent atoms. Why? Because according to real gases there exists a force of attraction. Okay. See, in ideal gases there wasn't any force of attraction, so P term was how many moles of gas were colliding, that much pressure they were exerting. But here force of attraction is present. So when a molecule is going to collide on the wall of the container, it will be pulled back by the neighboring molecules. And that's why what will happen, if that molecule will without any force of attraction it will collide, it can collide with full of its energy and it will exert more pressure. But if somebody is pulling it back, if inward pull is there, then it cannot strike on the wall of the container with full of its energy, and that's why pressure exerted by that molecule on the wall of the container will be lesser in comparison to ideal gases. Agree? In ideal gases, no force of attraction, so molecules can collide on the wall of the container very freely, exerting high pressure. But in real gases, molecule, when it will go to collide on the wall of the container, to strike on the wall of the container, that time surrounding molecules, adjacent molecules will pull it back. This molecule will experience an inward pull. Molecules will pull it back, and that's why that molecule cannot strike on the wall of the container with full of its energy, and that's why it will exert less pressure. And it is seen that, of course, this pressure, real gases pressure here, that's why P real is less than P ideal. Agree, students? Real gases pressure will be less than ideal gas pressure, and that's why to make pressure equal to ideal gas, real gases pressure is less. If we have to make the pressure equal to ideal gas, one factor or one correction term has to be added in real gases. So, in real gases, here, in real gases, one correction term is added. One correction term is added. Why? To make real gases pressure equal to ideal gases. And this correction term is nothing but an square by v square. That's why that is P plus an square by v square. I hope you understood this first point. So detailed answer, how stepwise it should come, it's written, just go on understanding. In Van der Waals gas equation, correction in pressure. See student, correction in pressure means this, P plus n square by v square. Correction in pressure is due to what? It is due to intermolecular attraction. Okay, intermolecular attraction. Okay, correction in volume we'll see afterwards. Now, how is it? That is explained in second point. At high pressure, molecules do not strike on the walls of the container with full impact. Okay, they don't collide on the wall of the container with full impact because they experience inward pull. Agreeing with this, they cannot collide with full impact because they experience inward pull by adjacent molecules. They are dragged back, they are pulled back by the adjacent molecules. Why? Due to intermolecular force of attraction. Therefore, pressure exerted on the walls will be of course lesser than the pressure exerted by ideal gases. Okay. So here written that pressure real will be less than pressure ideal, and in order to make pressure equal to ideal pressure, one correction term has to be added. To make this real pressure equal to ideal pressure, we must add a correction term, and that correction term is an square by v square. Why it's like that? That derivation is not there in your syllabus, but vaguely you can understand very easily. See here students. It depends upon what? How much pressure it will exert. It depends upon how many molecules are pulling it back. If more molecules are pulling it back, it will exert very less pressure. So more correction term has to be added. So it is directly proportional to how many molecules are pulling it back. So it is directly proportional to n. N is number of moles of that molecules. Inversely proportional to v square means what? Complete that pressure depends upon how many molecules are there in that surrounding. Number of molecules means density. Density is inversely proportional to volume. So that is inversely proportional to volume. So like this term comes. Okay. Next now. correction is in volume also, but in volume it is minus NB. Why it is minus NB? Let us understand. Correction in volume is due to what reason? See, correction in volume is due to actual volume occupied by the gas molecules. What actual volume that gas molecules will occupy, based on that there is correction in volume. Okay. According to ideal gases, students see, according to ideal gases, gases are so far away, gas molecules are so small and they are so far away from each other that how much volume they are occupying, that is just neglected because they are far away. So volume occupied by gas molecules, actual volume where they are present, that much only, that is just neglected. But in real gases, this volume is not neglected, it is considered. Now if you look here, if we will think about gas molecules are having how much space for movement, for free movement, how much space is available, if we will think from ideal gas point of view. Okay, then according to ideal gas, complete volume of the container is available for the gas molecules for their free movement, because according to ideal gas, this volume occupied by the gas molecules is negligible. So complete volume of the container is available for the ideal gas molecules for their free movement. But in real gases, it is seen that this actual volume is not negligible and it is significant. It has to be considered. It should not be neglected. And that is why, according to real gases, if we will think how much volume is available for free movement of gas molecules, then the answer is complete volume of the container. If we will see that complete container's volume is V, then we must reduce the volume occupied by the gas molecule. There already gas molecules are there, and that's why that much space is not available for free movement. So we should subtract that space. Complete container's volume, take V, minus this much actual volume occupied by the gas molecule should be subtracted, which is not available for free movement of the gas molecule. So how many gas molecules are there? N. Imagine the number of gas molecules N and the volume occupied by each gas molecule B. Okay. So like this, correction in volume is V minus NV. Okay. So let us write the things. The volume occupied by the molecules is significant, means it should be considered. Volume available for free movement of molecules is V minus NB, where what is V? V is the volume of container and NB is the actual volume of the gas molecules. Actual volume of gas molecules. Okay. I hope the things are very clear to you. According to ideal gases, there is molecules are so small, so their volume is neglected. So complete container's volume is available for ideal gases for free movement. But in real gases, this container's complete volume is not available. Where molecules are there, that space must be deducted. And that's why volume correction term is V minus NB, where NB is the actual volume which is occupied by the gas molecules. Student, up to these things are over. Now question will see explanation of how deviation from ideal gas behavior is explained using graphs. Okay, let us see that. Yes, students. Let us see now how this deviation can be explained by drawing the graphs. So, what is question asked will be, with the help of graph, how can you explain real gases do not follow ideal gas equation? This can be explained by plotting two types of different types of graphs. So, both you should draw. So, let us understand how real gas behavior is different than ideal gases. So students, in front of you first graph is there. This graph is plotted PV versus P. Students, here PV is taken on this axis. PV goes on increasing upside. Why PV? PV is always constant at constant temperature. According to which law? Of course, Boyle's law. I hope you remember that. According to Boyle's law, pressure is inversely proportional to volume, and that's why PV is equal to constant. That is plotted here versus pressure. So what can you see here? I have made use of two colors to make you remember or visualize the things easily. Ideal gases are showing a straight line. So when a graph of PV versus P is plotted, then the plot for or the graph for ideal gases is a straight line parallel to x-axis. It's a straight line parallel to x-axis. But for real gases, complete deviation is seen. Real gases don't show a straight line which is parallel to x-axis. Complete deviation, deflection is seen. Two types of graphs are seen in case of real gases. You can see here for hydrogen and helium, straight lines are seen, meaning that as pressure increases, PV also increases. Is it? Going this side means pressure increasing, going up means PV increasing. For hydrogen and helium real gases, as pressure increases, PV also increases. And for some other real gases like carbon monoxide, methane, here shown different type of graph. What happens in these plots for carbon monoxide and methane? In these graphs, first it is seen that as pressure increases, first PV value goes on decreasing. PV value goes on decreasing. That is called as negative deviation. Okay. Then it reaches to minimum value. Then PV value reaches to minimum value. And then it starts increasing. Then it crosses the line for ideal gases. And then it starts increasing as pressure increases. That is, lastly it will show positive deviation. Okay. Understood? Like this, two different types of behaviors are shown by ideal gases and real gases. Like this, real gases deflect from ideal gas behavior. What you understood, student? When a graph of PV versus P is plotted, the graph for ideal gases was a straight line parallel to x-axis. But real gases shows different graphs. Real gases like hydrogen and helium shows positive deviation. That is, PV value increases with increase in pressure. But real gases like carbon monoxide and methane first shows negative deviation. That is, PV value goes on decreasing, reaches to minimum value, then it starts increasing, crosses the line for ideal gases, and then shows positive deviation. That is, PV value increases with increase in pressure. Like this, different behavior is shown, and like this we can explain behavior of real gases, how it is different than ideal gases. Then student, here one more question may come in your mind, that why hydrogen helium different graph and for carbon monoxide and methane why different graph? Because all these are real gases only. Then student, in real gases also always remember that carbon monoxide and methane, carbon dioxide, all these type of some gases are there which are easily liquefiable gases. They can be liquefied very easily. Van der Waals force of attraction will be strong in them. Okay, so graph will be different for them. Carbon monoxide, methane are easily liquefiable gases. hydrogen and helium cannot be liquefied easily. So graphs will be different for real gases in them only. All are real gases only, but in between them also some different graphs are seen. Okay. Let us move towards next graph. This also shows deviation of real gases from ideal gas behavior. Very easy graph is there. In this graph is plotted pressure versus volume. You can see it. Graph is plotted pressure versus volume. In this graph you can see that when pressure is very high, see here upside, when pressure is high, that time volume occupied by ideal gas is low in comparison to volume occupied by real gas. Real gas, red color I have shown. Volume occupied by ideal gas is low as compared to volume occupied by real gases when pressure is high. But when pressure is low, see here, at low pressure, you can see that both molar volumes are approaching each other. At low pressure, both molar volumes are approaching each other, because we have seen that when pressure is low, that time real gases behave ideally. Okay. So with the help of these two graphs, you can explain how real gases do not follow ideal gas equation, or how real gases deviate from ideal gas behavior. Let me student write the explanation. Yes students. Now this is all things I wrote, whatever I have explained to you. Please write down the things as it is, because when question will be asked, all points should be covered properly. So about this graph, things important are, for ideal gases, what type of graph is seen? Straight line parallel to x-axis. And then you must explain for real gases, two types of curves are seen. For hydrogen, helium, only positive deviation, and for carbon monoxide and methane, first it decreases, negative deviation, and then it increases. All that explanation should be written. So write down first point, then second, and then third point about this graph. Then same deviation can be explained with the help of this graph also. And for this graph, you should only tell that at high pressure, real volume shown by real gas is more as compared to the volume shown by ideal gas. It is less. Okay, but at low pressure, both these molar volumes approaches each other. Okay, like this explanation should be written. Write the things properly. Let us, now you understood students that real gases shows different behavior than ideal gases. Means real gases deviate from ideal gas behavior. How this deviation is measured, that let us see now. Yes students, let us move towards our next topic, that is compressibility factor. We have seen till yet that ideal gases and real gases are behaving differently. Behavior of real gases is different as compared to ideal gas behavior. Then we saw this behavior, how to explain with the help of graphs. All explanation, both the graphs we have seen. Now our last topic regarding this today's topic is, if real gases are deviating, deflecting from ideal gas behavior, then how much they are deviating, that measurement is done. Measurement of deviation of real gas behavior than ideal gases behavior is done using compressibility factor Z. Things are very easy, just 1 mark question will be asked. What is compressibility factor? Define it, otherwise write the formula for compressibility factor. Many times ask question for 1 mark. Okay, let us see the things. So what is compressibility factor understanding? You came to know that real gases are deviating. How much they are deviating, how much deflection is shown, that is measured using compressibility factor Z. Compressibility factor Z, remembering its formula is very easy. Students, you know that ideal gas behavior, ideal gas equation is PV is equal to nRT. Similarly, Z, compressibility factor, is equal to PV by nRT. Formula easy to remember. In ideal gas equation, it was PV is equal to nRT. Here in compressibility factor, it is PV divided by nRT. So what is compressibility factor? It is how the deviation of real gases from ideal behavior is measured using compressibility factor. What it is? Formula Z is equal to PV divided by nRT. So you can say that compressibility factor, it is ratio. Whose ratio? Product of PV and nRT. Compressibility factor, see students, here I have written the extent of deviation, how much deviation which real gases show from ideal behavior, it is measured using compressibility factor Z. It is ratio of, it is whose ratio students? Formula here I have written. Z is equal to PV divided by nRT. So it is the ratio of product of PV and nRT. Okay. So measurement of deviation is done by compressibility factor. Symbol is capital Z. Now, if formula is PV divided by nRT students. Now see, ideal gas equation is what? PV is equal to nRT. For what will be the value of Z for ideal gases? See here, Z is equal to this formula is there, but we know that in ideal gases PV is equal to nRT. So if we instead of PV will write nRT, then nRT get cancelled and Z is equal to 1 for ideal gases. So always remember, for ideal gases PV is equal to nRT and therefore Z becomes equal to 1. Here substitute PV is equal to nRT gets cancelled, so Z is equal to 1. But for real gases Z cannot be equal to 1. So either Z will be less than 1 or Z can be greater than 1. Okay. Friends, for compressibility factor Z, one more ratio is there. It is also the ratio of real volume or the volume occupied by real gases to the volume occupied by ideal gases. It is also the ratio of volume occupied by real gases to the volume occupied by ideal gases. Okay. So let us see that definition here. It is the ratio of, whose ratio it is? Compressibility factor is the ratio of actual molar volume of a gas. Actual, real means actual. Actual meaning is real. It is the ratio of actual molar volume of a gas to the molar volume of ideal gas. Actual volume to the ideal volume at same conditions of temperature and pressure. Like this definition of compressibility factor you can write. For here one graph is drawn for compressibility factor Z versus pressure in bar. There you can see that for ideal gases, red color I have shown, and there you can see that compressibility factor Z value is 1 for ideal gases. Okay, that is what we have seen here. Value for ideal gases is 1. For real gases, it can be less than 1, greater than 1, but not equal to 1. So that is what you can observe in the graph. For real gases, value can be less than 1, below, or it can be greater than 1. Okay, so like this compressibility factor topic is there. Very simple 1 mark questions is there. Generally formula will be asked, which is very easy to remember. So what is compressibility factor understood? Measurement of deviation of real gases from ideal behavior is done using compressibility factor. Okay student, here one more thing. Sometime question will be asked for 2 marks. Show that Z is equal to V real divided by V ideal. Okay, let us take that one thing. Show that what? Z is equal to V real divided by V ideal. How to show that students? Very easy. Just see here correctly. According to ideal gas equation, what can I write students? PV is equal to nRT. Agree? And which is this volume? For this volume I will call as V ideal because it is according to ideal gas equation. According to ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT. This volume is ideal volume. First thing. Second, according to Z. For what is formula for Z? PV by nRT. For this volume I am calling as real volume. Okay, student? According to Z, PV by nRT. For this volume I am calling as V real. Now I have to show that Z is equal to V real divided by V ideal. I will start from RHS. Student, just understand. I will start from RHS. What is my RHS there? V real divided by V ideal is equal to. I should get at the end LHS Z. Okay. I started from RHS. Now tell me what is V real. For V real, what can I write? See here. V real. V real means what can you substitute for V real? V real means, I will write here. Here V real means what? Z nRT Z nRT divided by P. Agree? Z nRT divided by P. And what is V ideal? V ideal is equal to nRT by P. So students, nRT by P got cancelled and I got only Z is equal to LHS. Okay, like that you can prove the point. Student, lastly, 1 mark question will be asked. Important question, so put a star, 1 mark. This formula also important for 1 mark. What is boil temperature or boil point? The temperature at which a real gas obeys ideal gas law over appreciable. Appreciable means over long range of pressure is called as boil temperature. Student, the temperature when real gases are behaving ideally. Okay, of course that temperature will be high temperature. We have seen this. When real gases behave ideally, when pressure is low, temperature is high. So the temperature at which real gases obeys ideal gas law over an appreciable range of pressure is called as boil temperature or boil point. So student, all things about today's topic are over correctly and finish the things properly. Read only NCERT textbook for your PU syllabus. Then student, next topic is liquefaction of gases, but due to this corona pandemic, whatever syllabus is deleted, that starts from liquefaction of gases onwards, everything is deleted from your syllabus. So the lesson is over here. So states of matter lesson is over. See you very soon in the next video with next fresh lesson. See you students.